Now at 10, the accumulating snow is out of here, but the temperature keeps dropping. I'm going to have those details.
Plus, we're going to take a look at the changing road conditions throughout the day and now into tonight. And we'll hear from the Webb City Fire Department on their response in this extreme cold.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Traffic is moving, but with extreme caution. This is a live image from I-44 near the I-49 intersection. The snowfall stopped falling here more than 7 hours ago, but the sub-zero temperature is still falling tonight. The wind makes it feel even worse, and we won't get anywhere near a thaw for days. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Tonight we're going to get an update on the road conditions. We're going to check out some area communities offering warming shelters and hear how local firefighters do their job in this bone-numbing cold. First, though, Doug Heddy joins us with a first look at the weather.
Yeah, and at that intersection on the southeast side of the city, we got about 3 inches of snow, 2.5 in Joplin, 2 in Pittsburgh, Miami about 1.5, and then Yates Center picked up about 3 to 4 inches. Little pocket across southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma with 1 to 2. So it was a spread of 1 all the way up to 5 inches. Once you get in our far eastern counties. Now it's the temperatures. Look at this, -6 in Joplin, -4 in Iola, -5 Nevada. We have Grand Lake sitting at -2. Plus we still have these strong northerly winds at about 10 to 20. And of course, when you're -6, that gives you a very low wind chill. Most of us right now -20 to about -25. And these will continue to drop as we go through the overnight hours. Wind chill warning in effect until noon Saturday, so still about another 36 hours away. And look at this, we drop all the way down to -9 for us tonight. Of course, we're going to look into the holiday weekend and what you need to know here in just a bit.
All right, we will see you then. Road crews vary widely across the area, the conditions do, and they've changed throughout the day. We begin our coverage with KOAM's Shannon Becker in Joplin.
Let's take a look at these road conditions for the rest of the night tonight and what you can expect tomorrow morning. You can see the main roads are generally clear as we're traveling just outside the Joplin city limits on West 7th Street. But what do we see on the side roads? They're still snow covered. So under this snow, patches of ice. Drive with caution if you need to get out. Numerous slide-offs and crashes have continued all evening. And due to the cold temperatures, not all crashed vehicles are being towed at this time. MoDOT tells us if a vehicle is out of the way and they've checked on it, they'll mark it with yellow caution tape. So do not call 911 again. On the interstate, there's less traffic and the lanes are clear, but dangerously cold temperatures. And again, authorities say if you don't have to get out, then stay home. In Jasper County, I'm Shannon Becker for KOAM News Now.
Now, 2 hour east crashes shut down part of Interstate 44 earlier today. Eastbound traffic on the interstate closed east of Lebanon in Laclede County when multiple tractor trailers were involved in a series of crashes around 2 this afternoon. Up to 30 vehicles were involved. And in Lawrence County, Missouri, a tractor trailer overturned, blocking both eastbound lanes. Traffic was rerouted for a time near exit 38. We're also keeping an eye on southeast Kansas roads. In Pittsburgh, we saw some drivers struggling with streets that are snow-packed and slick. On 69 highway, drivers seem to have an easier time, but authorities caution that drivers can find slick spots anywhere, and even a minor slide-off can leave you vulnerable to the dangerous cold.
If you do go off the road, please stay in your vehicle and stay warm if you're able to. Stay seat belted in. Do not get out of the vehicle and try to inspect everything as the roads are worse.
You can find a link to resources for road conditions all around the four states at KOAMnewsnow.com/weather. A number of communities across the area have opened warming shelters for anyone who needs them, and those shelters include the Joplin Public Library. During regular operating hours, it's providing access to warmth, books, computers, and other library offerings, all free of charge, of course. Another Joplin warming center is the Watered Gardens Outreach Center.
really people, I mean, when temperatures reach a certain point, you're not going to get warm, right? No matter how many layers you have on, you're not going to stay warm. And then add on top of that snow, ice. This is the basics as it gets, keeping people safe and warm and even fed at this time. This is kind of a crisis need that we're trying to meet.
The Watered Gardens Warming Center will remain open as long as the wind chill is 20 degrees or lower. For a list of other warming shelters all across the 4 states, go to KOAMnewsnow.com/weather. Both Kansas and Missouri have declared states of emergency because of this extreme cold. In Missouri, Governor Mike Parson signed an executive order preparing state resources and National Guard members to be deployed if needed. And an executive order from Kansas Governor Laura Kelly temporarily relaxes some motor carrier rules and regulations to speed up assistance. KOAM Shagun Bamadelli spoke to some local first responders about how the weather affects their response time.
This winter storm has been rough on several areas of the country, including the 4 states. And with the snow and extremely cold weather, visibility might be low for first responders.
Where we still respond to all of the calls that we do receive, but depending on the call, sometimes we will run with lights and sirens and sometimes we won't. If the outcome of the call we have to get there quickly, we will do the lights and sirens, but if we can still get to the scene without using them and it won't affect the outcome of the call, we'll go non-emergency as it's ruled.
Engineer Burrow says before attending to any call, all trucks must be prepped.
We also drain our pumps because so that our pumps won't freeze, and then we ensure that our spot on, which is basically snow chains, that they are functioning and operating properly. And then we also check the condition of our tires, and then we check all of our fluids, make sure that we're topped off on all of our fluids and our heaters and are working.
Due to the icy and wet roads, first responders say the weather conditions affect their response time.
It kind of depends on the different storms we get here, but today our response time's not been affected at all. We might drive a little bit slower to certain calls, but we still get there in a very reasonable amount of time.
If the road conditions are severe, it could affect the response time a little bit. Just be aware that when you do call 911 for an emergency, we are going to come, but the response instead of being will seem a little bit longer just due to the road conditions, but we will be on our way.
Reporting in Webb City, Shagun Bamadelli, KOAM News.
They also say it's a good time to remind all of us to check our own vehicles and keep them roadworthy. Now, due to this extreme cold, the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas has modified their hours of operation. They'll still be open tomorrow, but only from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for all clinic locations. They'll close at noon Saturday and won't reopen until Monday. And we aren't the only ones struggling with the storm. As Bradley Blackburn reports, it's causing disruptions across much of our nation heading into Christmas weekend.
Dangerous and threatening.
With a weather map by his side, President Biden urged Americans to take warnings about the massive winter storm seriously. Forecasters are calling the weather system bringing whiteout conditions and sub-zero temperatures a once-in-a-generation storm.
If you get above 40 miles an hour, you start sliding around.
The Arctic blast includes wind chill warnings from the northwest as far as the Gulf Coast and into the eastern seaboard. It's already taking a toll on holiday travel. In Chicago, Alicia Mitchell spent the day trying to get home to Los Angeles. One flight was canceled and another delayed.
It's not looking good right now, but we're hopeful.
Amid snow squall warnings, Denver International Airport saw hundreds of flights canceled Thursday, according to FlightAware.
We're trying to get there, and 2 flights are canceled so far with Southwest. I just got a flight for tonight, but I don't even know if that's looking very likely.
And in Palm Beach, Florida, travelers tried to head north, despite the forbidding forecasts.
I should have packed more jackets and stuff. We're freezing.
I'm definitely not a fan of the code.
This couple is going to their grandson's bar mitzvah.
Just being with the family makes you warm.
That's her point of view. My point of view is that I'm going to freeze my butt off up there.
By Thursday afternoon, more than 200 million Americans were under some form of winter weather warning or advisory, with Christmas just days away. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
You can find the latest coverage of the storm right here and what comes next on the KOAM weather app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store. Download it now. Just search for the KOAM weather app. Coming up, a Kansas newborn spends her first night warmed by a wood-burning stove because of a power outage. Plus, a transformer explosion knocks out power for some people in Missouri. Take a look at the image captured by a police dash cam in Liberty, Missouri tonight. A transformer exploded in a shower of sparks, boom, plunging nearby buildings into darkness. Evergy Electric says more than 2,000 customers have been affected by power outages just in the Kansas City area tonight. Of course, that can be dangerous anytime, but it leads to a loss of heat on a night like this. Well, that means it can be life-threatening. The whiteout conditions this morning left some people across Kansas in a blackout. Sean Loging visited one Valley Center, Kansas neighborhood that lost power.
It was a morning to be spent around the fire, especially when it's baby's first night home.
It's going in the scrapbook, I'm sure. 3 days old and we're camping out by the fire, so kind of kicking it old school.
Reese Lillian left the hospital Wednesday.
We were, as you can imagine, it was going to be a long night for us anyway, so we were kind of prepped, but yeah, turned out to be a little more difficult than planned.
With the loss of power noticed around 2 a.m., new parents Bo and Vanessa Volkman spent the night in their living room around the wood-burning stove.
Made a couple trips out to the barn and was lucky enough to have the wood split and ready to go from last weekend and brought up, so yeah, it worked out for us. I know it's not as fortunate for others, but yeah, we made do and kind of made camp in the living room. So.
At the other end of the block, Corey Lawrence is checking in on his home Thursday morning.
I'm just stopping by here to make sure I don't have any frozen pipes or anything crazy.
His family staying someplace warm as the temperature inside the house fell below 50 degrees by 11 a.m.
I have a newborn. He's about 2 months old. So I called my mom and we took my wife and kid over there.
Just a few houses away, Christine Hobson and her family have been adding on the layers. They're currently living in their camper trailer as their house is getting repaired.
I had the water running and it wasn't running this morning, so it froze up, and it's been hard to keep it fairly warm this winter. Anyway, we were hoping this wouldn't hit till February.
Luckily for those living on this block, they had their power restored by around noon Thursday. Hopefully that will make for an easier second night for Bo and Vanessa, as Reese Lillian seems completely undisturbed by this whole ordeal.
Totally. It's probably for the best. I'm kind of envious. Maybe it's best to forget it.
Southwest Missouri experienced power outages also in Neosho, Pineville, and in the Joplin area. According to Newmac Electric Cooperative, the outages in Neosho were due to exceptionally strong winds. A little bit later, a Girard football standout commits to Pitt State.
Plus, the strong winds stick around tonight and tomorrow, keeping those wind chills low. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, a nasty, nasty day for us today. The light to moderate snow, even some heavy snow at times during the morning hours, and a wide range of amounts across the region. 2.5 in Joplin, 2.75 for the season. If you remember, we had that little 1/4 of an inch back in November. Average is 13 at Fort Castine, 15 to 18. Last year we had about 14 inches of snow. Check this out. Look at the trend. We were 47 yesterday. Then watch the Arctic front, 40, 20, 16, 8, 2, 0, -5. So huge drop across the area. Now we're just really cold, -6 in Stockton, -3 in Anderson, -1 in Chautauqua. Fort Scott sitting at -5, -2 at Grand Lake. Of course, with that snowpack, the skies clearing out, the temperatures just plummet. And look at this, the entire Central Plains dealing with this, from -6 in Lincoln, even Dallas down to 12 degrees, -2 in Chicago. We still have these northerly winds sticking around tonight, 10 to 20, gusts 25 to 30, which is going to give us the low wind chill. So that's why it feels right now -20 to about -25, and these will drop off even a little bit more as we go through the rest of the overnight hours tonight. -6 here shortly, -8 by 7, -9 will be our low. Sunshine in the morning, but by 10 a.m. we're only back to about 3 degrees, which is kind of crazy. All right, look at these bands of snow during the morning where you see the darker blues. That was actually moderate to heavy snow. We had a couple snow squall warnings, especially southeastern Kansas, northeastern parts of Oklahoma. And what that is, because we don't get it often, is like a mini blizzard. It's little bands that give you near whiteout conditions, so they issue very similar to a severe thunderstorm warning, but it's a snow squall warning, and they only last about 10 or 20 minutes, but we did have a few of those earlier today. This system's gone, rolling up the eastern third of the country, but on the back side, we have to deal with the cold Arctic air in place. So let's go through time. We'll stop at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. -8 to about -10. There may be spots with thicker snowpack that actually gets a little bit colder than that. We get above 0 by the noon hour, and I think most of us 10 to about 12 degrees, which is brutally cold, but we're going in the right direction. Tomorrow night, we back down near 0 once again as we head into Saturday afternoon. Of course, Christmas Eve, temperatures right around 20. If you're going north to Arrowhead, got a game Saturday at noon. At kickoff, temperatures will be right around 14 or 15 degrees, so make sure you bundle up. And then as we head into Saturday night and Christmas morning, so when you wake up Christmas morning, still temperature is about 5 or 6 degrees. We still have some weather impacts to deal with, of course, at least medium or moderate impact, snow and ice on the roadways, especially the side roads. Still high impact due to the cold and the wind. Wind chill warning in effect until noon on Saturday due to these winds that are going to be gusting 30 miles per hour tonight and still 20 to 30 during the daytime hours tomorrow. So that means our wind chills -25 to -30 tonight. They only climb to about -10 to -15 tomorrow with the sun, and then they back down a little bit again Friday night into Saturday morning. All right, here's your day planner. -9 to start, 8 by noon. High temp right around 12, 0 tomorrow night, 21 Christmas Eve, which is bearable, 26 on Christmas Day, and then 62 on Thursday with thunderstorms. I mean, just all over the place. We're used to it around here, but be very, very careful tonight and tomorrow, and of course the elderly and the pets. And drip your faucet if you haven't started doing that.
Yeah, it might be too late. Some
Yeah, I know.
pipes, I'm sure, have burst around the area. Thanks, Doug. If you have any pictures of the winter storm you'd like to share, you can submit them on the KOAM News app straight from your phone. Just go to the weather category and swipe to the Photo Galleries tab where you can view other photos taken by viewers or submit your own. We're going to show you some photos submitted by viewers at the end of this newscast, so stick around. Still ahead, the Kansas City Chiefs return home this weekend to host the Seattle Seahawks, and a new head football coach for the Baxter Springs Lions. Jacob Leonard has that and more up next.
The Baxter Springs Lions have a new head football coach. The school has announced that Jeff McCoy will be the leader of the program beginning in 2023. Now, McCoy has been on the Baxter Springs staff the last 3 years, coaching wide receivers and defensive backs. He's also made coaching stops in Pitcher, Oklahoma, and at NEO. And before that, he played at NEO before finishing his college career at Pittsburgh State, helping the Gorillas claim the conference title in 2001. Now, McCoy takes over for Russell Burr in Baxter Springs, who got this thing going in the right direction last year.
Learned a lot from Coach Burr. You know, he took this thing over here a few years ago when it was in pretty bad shape, and thankfully for him, he stepped in there and took that role on, and has got us the needle moving in the right direction, and we just want to continue to move that needle. And again, you know, we just don't want to go out there and compete. We want to win. We don't just want to be in games. We want to win games. So, and I think we'll have the ability to do that.
Girard High School football standout Luke Nigaman staying close to home. Nigaman announced his commitment to Pittsburgh State earlier this afternoon. The 6'3", 200-pound quarterback has been one of the best in the area the last few years. He's led Girard to a 20-2 overall record the last 2 seasons, with a pair of district titles and 2 regional championships. The Kansas City Chiefs have just 3 games left in the regular season. On Saturday, the Chiefs will play at home, hosting the Seattle Seahawks. Now, both of these teams got a lot to play for in the last 3 weeks. The Chiefs are 11-3, fighting for the #1 seed in the AFC playoffs. The Seahawks are 7-7, trying to earn a playoff spot of their own. Now, Kansas City kind of had a problem with turnovers all season. They have the 3rd worst turnover differential in the NFL. They've given it away 5 times in the last 2 games.
We've had a number of turnovers in the past how many weeks in a row, and it's been addressed. And guys need to understand this. In order to be a team that wants to exceed all expectations and go and pursue a championship, there's certain things you can't do. You can't turn over the football. We got to make sure that we're doing all the little things necessary. You got to keep two hands on it. You got to protect it at all costs. Can't give it up. Just can't do it.
Finally, some Division I men's basketball tonight. The Kansas Jayhawks 10-1, ranked 4th in the nation at home against Harvard. KU wins that one 68-54. Jalen Wilson scores 21 points for Kansas and also tops 1,000 points in his KU career. And I also have to mention Mizzou basketball just finished off a big-time win over 16th ranked Illinois. I think it was
really?
Yeah, they won. It was a big blowout, but a nice win early in the season for Mizzou.
They'll take it. A final look at the weather coming up. Take time now to honor a local veteran. Clifford Harrington served in the U.S. Army from 2006 to 2010. The Neosho native served in the 14th Sierra Airborne Unit, and we are proud to salute Platoon Sergeant Clifford Harrington, a four-state hero. The temperature keeps dropping tonight. A couple of us went ahead and started our cars to get a head start.
Yeah. It was nasty out there.
Yes.
Not fun, but it's warming up right now. Stay inside if you can, of course. Temperatures tonight about -10, only 12 tomorrow, but we do get a little bit of sunshine.
Final sports notes.
We posted earlier this evening our top local sports stories of 2022. It's on the sports page on our website. Go check it out.
Very good. Please do be careful out there. We're going to leave you tonight with some video of photos submitted by you, viewers of today's winter storm. We'll be right back here tomorrow again. Be careful and let's make it a great one.